everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would show you an update on this Kriel Space Station and talk about a couple things that I'm trying to work out right now. So this is a new area. This is off the back side of the farm. Uh, yeah, I've been doing a lot of tweaking and detailing in this section. I still got some flaws, like I see this metal thing over here that's not quite right, but trying to figure this area out. And this is kind of a weird setup. For sure. But basically, it comes up into this section here, which is a farm area. It only holds 54 grow plots, so it's not a big farm area. I got a lot more room in the station. It could have another farm, but I don't know how much grow plots we're going to want. And of course, all these will be filled in with some kind of filler blocks when I release it too. So you don't have to try to get the grow plots going. But basically, I'm just trying to work on a lot of aesthetics in this back area right now. And then I'm also trying to get some more storage put into this. Now it's got some weird little rooms over here. This is kind of in between the main crafting area and the other area. And so I plan on doing something with these rooms too. Maybe POI functions, maybe this might be a decent location to throw like a gravity generator or something, some main part. I gotta incorporate a shield in here somewhere too, and then a good area for fuel and all that stuff, solar capacitors. So that's coming too. Now, layout wise, let me try to jet through here. I've got some pathing issues I gotta work out too, and that is one of the things. So what I showed you before was the main crafting area here. This extends out a little bit, so it actually goes through this back door now, and then there's an elevator that goes up in the back side, and then it goes out to this sub area here, which is another 320k storage. So that's 16 I'm at right now. Now again, I plan on getting close to 30 in here, if not 30. So I got a ways to go, but I'm about halfway there on storage. I got to also try to figure out CPU on, I know vanilla charges an awful lot more for storage than Reforged Eden does, and I'm trying to keep this compatible with both, at least for the player version. Now the POI version, I may strip out, I probably will strip out a lot of storage in here. In fact, I might even end up copying like a older part of the back part of this space station that didn't have an interior, and then just kind of build it out from there, because you're not going to, with a POI, you're really not going to need all this crazy amounts of storage and stuff like that, and then it just takes up space. But the space I'm using is generally weird areas that would be really hard to do much else with because of its size. And if I go down below this floor here, now this is going in the abdomen section, and it's quite narrow in here. So I loaded it up with a lot of storage, but there is like a way through it, but it's really skinny, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with this space area here. Maybe it'll have some kind of weird hallway for POI's sake or something that goes through here and maybe goes up a level and back around. I don't know. Trying to figure that out. So what I've got left, and there's two big sections. Now this is the biggest section down here, the bottom floor. Looking forward to doing this, and I'm trying to keep this free from any player function. So even like storage and things like that, I don't really want to put it down here. I wanted to keep this, I want to have this whole section look a little bit different than the rest of it. Like this is like this weird cave, hopefully very organic looking things, guts, and it's going to have some viewpoints too, like from the even from the crafting area, looking through the floor. You'll be able to like kind of see down there, and I kind of want to see the chaos down there. Now I wanted to do more asymmetrical stuff in here, but especially in these tight, narrow areas, it just isn't practical. The rooms aren't wide enough to like separate them, have like a hallway or something going on one side and keep both sides different. So I haven't yet engaged in any asymmetrical interior space, but I do want to do that, especially down below. And then there's another section up above And this, I think, will be, and it'll end up being like the all the other little cushy stuff for RP value in a player base, like your crew area, maybe a place to eat, stuff like that. I know Kriel, it's Kriel, so it's weird. They really shouldn't have a lot of that stuff, but I did do it in like the Kriel Overseer and stuff too. It had like crew rooms and stuff like that. So this area is a nice space for there. It's got some block room to do some fun shaping and stuff like that. So this should come out decent. Areas of concern that I've got right now, and I know it's really dark here. I screwed up some textures doing the inside again, but I guess still gotta deal with this landing pad and this door section. This door, I actually took out the door because it didn't actually go anywhere, which is a problem. I kind of designed this to have this as the entry point, and then as I got into the interior, it didn't line up right to the floors or anything else in here. So I'm working this. I got to figure out a solution for this area here yet. So it needs an access door going to this landing pad regardless, and I think there's ways I can make this work, but I might have to make some modifications on the inside of it. Then I was thinking this other section in the hangar, in these back corners of the hangar, it's some pretty crazy block chaos, and this might be a good opportunity to fit in more storage along these walls, filling in some of these blocks with storage things, and then I could leave them nicely accessible, to the player, like or try to do it like how these other ones are, so you can walk right up and click on it or whatever. I do like that. I don't really like to bury any of that stuff. So let's see, was there anything else done? This top floor here, this is largely the same. I still haven't been back to this area, but I have been kind of like connecting it, and I got another connection issue here too going through here. It's got this neat little overlook of the farm right now, again, player version. And then I've got this window down here that goes nowhere, and there's like this pit here that doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to probably have to do for the player version, however, the POI version, I don't want this to go to the farm area. That's why I've kind of got it blocked off right now. But I think I may just put in a staircase that comes down from this to here for the player version to eliminate that problem. And basically, as you go through here, there should be some stairways that run up the side here, so this would be like another way to get to this top room. Right now there's a lot of ways through here, and I am a little concerned that, well, again, there's two things. One, parts of this are it could be a little confusing getting through, but for the player section, it's like all right here and one floor above it, so hopefully it stays, logical. You don't have to run too far. Another thing I did do is I put in the mechanics for these escape hatch doors over here, and this would kind of like allow you to just fly right out of the crafting area really quick out to the base, but I wanted you to be able to get to these module bays quickly too, so I may install some kind of door mechanism, so you could hop out of there and then fly into a module bay very quickly. Or the alternative would be to walk through the base, up around, and then catch this elevator which leads you up to the crafting area. So as in alternative materials like concrete and Xeno and who knows, maybe even some wood. Right now, is the sake of trying to get rooms done, I'm not using the concrete yet, and the concrete I think is mostly going to be dealing with the flooring. And there's sections of here that I think the flooring is very, very boring. Like this area here, it's boring. So I'll be messing with that and trying to make it a little prettier. Now, some areas though, like where I did the flooring in this metal texture like this, often there's cargo extensions around the area. So some of the flooring here might be cargo extensions, or that's a case in several areas, of course, with 16 320K storage base, and I don't have any ammo storage built in here yet. Obviously I could just convert one over to ammo. I will need some ammo. Probably doesn't need a huge amount. Probably like 320K for ammo is more than enough for the base, I would say. And this, it's not going to be running around the galaxy shooting at stuff. So, if it even shoots at all. But the POI version will probably shoot at you, but I didn't want it to be like heavy about space combat. I want it to be an interior romp through here and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Again, sorry about the lighting. I'm in space. It's just a little less taxing on the computer, and I want to see the station as I'm building it in like space lighting, because it's very important to try to tweak out all the lights in here. And I'm trying to tweak out areas as I go too. Like nothing's finalized yet. This room I think is a little bit flat and boring in places too. A little too much of the blue going on. I want to break that up a bit more. I like the looks of this area a lot. That's so that I'm really content with. This section up here, I really like this area. This one, I had the advantage of having a little bit more room to work with, so I could build up these this weird kind of bean-shaped, peanut-shaped hallway kind of thing, and I like that. I would like to do more of that in other parts of the base, but some areas just do not have the space to be screwing with the walls this much. This was a lot of messing around. I could have fit a lot of functional stuff in the amount of space that this hallway took up, but again, good part of what this is about is really a POI. But I think overall, if you're willing to to spend the extra cash for it versus like something like this Solaris, which is a lot more totally built around player function, this one's kind of a half and half thing. So we'll see how it comes out. But yeah, so some miscellaneous pathing things like here and out there, and then a couple big room areas to work on. And I'm kind of saving this bottom area for the last, because believe it or not, I'm most excited about doing this bottom area because it's got room, it's got just crazy amounts of weird block work to work around. And here's something that was brought up, and I've seen this in comments before, and there's different people have different ways of building things. Now, I typically do not do interiors first. In fact, I only did one creation that way, and that was the Waypoint, one of the Waypoint bases, like that middle one. It wasn't the Waypoint Station, it was that more hardened one with the defense stuff around it. That one I did the interior first, and I ended up with a rectangle, just a big rectangle for the overall shape. It worked out, for what that base was, but I actually, believe it or not, I actually enjoy trying to, you build the hall any way you want it, and then you try to figure out how you're going to do the interior. In some occasions, you might modify the hall, or what I would do, modify the hall. Say if you're trying to fit like a certain part, or maybe a grow plot, and it's one block short of something, maybe I'll tweak the hall so I can get that extra block space. But I really enjoy actually taking the chaos of the interior blocks and then trying to go through and make sense of it and work it out, and fit in everything and come up with the pathing in the hallways and how the rooms are going to look. I do like working around that, believe it or not. It's kind of fun. It kind of rather than a monotonous thing, you're always like designing and planning and trying to figure this out or the other thing. I suppose the same thing is true if you do the interiors first, because then you got to figure out the exterior of the ship, so you're doing a lot of that as well. But it's just kind of the style and method that I typically do, and I kind of realize why I do it so much is because it's kind of fun. It really is fun, I've got this pathway over here, and I got to figure out, where am I going to run this to, and how, am I going to run it up through the floor? Is it going to come into here? Probably, but and how am I going to do that? So you got all these little challenges, like one after another, and so on, to figure out. And there's a lot of weird entryways on this base, and a lot of these will be shut down for the POI version. Like even below these landing pads here, there's another access point over here. There's just there's a lot of different ways in the base. There's this weird area. I don't even know if I showed that, but if you keep on walking, not through this floor, you go up. Was it here? Yeah. So like if you come out through this room here, you can walk straight back here, and then there's another door that goes out to this rear turret position. So again, a lot of ways in and out of the base on the player version. Your primary way would probably be the doors that I'm gonna have to rebuild on the. God, it's dark. The doors that I gotta rebuild on the sides over here, or not those doors. Yeah, there's different doors. These doors. These doors go somewhere, I think. And these are the things that I got to figure out. There's just there's probably like 10 different entry points in the space. So it's right now. Again, a lot of these will be shut down for the POI version. I want you to run kind of a course. This area I really do want to do mostly asymmetrical, but I might run into that same problem as there's just not enough large open space to really lay that out nicely. Obviously, I got to go around all this stuff. I can do the block work a little different on one side to the other. But again, this might be some kind of spawning or like a weird incubation, egg growing Kriel pit thing. I don't know what to call it, but alien and yucky and crazy looking is the goal. So yeah. But it is coming along. It is coming along. If I can get some good jam time here, I want to finish up this back area. I want to work out these the sides of the hangar and incorporate more storage. I think in this section there's just a lot of blocks I could fill in the back where you never know the difference. And so it'd be easy to put some storage there. Then I got to do the crew area and then the lower section. And after that, some other tweaks. I still didn't get around to making these rear landing pads larger, or obviously fixing that connection to the ship, and both of those have to take place too. So that's kind of more crucial things to get done. But that's I just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at right now. Before I move on to, I did a preview video of this a couple days ago of the Aurora-ITF. I did make, I meant to work on the space station more, but when I was trying to debunk everything on this, fix all the textures and look at everything, I did a walkthrough on the ship. And, I wasn't so worried about it because I knew I had all the thrusters far enough away from the interior to not cause heat problems. But I wasn't thinking about other things like fuel tanks and pentaxa tanks. So when I was doing this up, I had the pentaxa tank right here, which would instantly give you radiation when you walked in the door. And then I had a fuel tank right here, which also gave, I didn't realize that the fuel tanks also cause problems too. It's like every part does now. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, I relocated the pentaxa tank to the middle, right back behind this grate where it's kind of right behind where you'd put the basic CPU core for Reforged Eden. And then I took the fuel tank and I found another location out in like the wings to put it. It's not visible, but it's got the same count as it had before. And I took a couple of the oxygen tanks that were there and put them over here because these are safe. So as here, I'll take, I don't have any gravity, but as you go through the interior now, there should be no part that it allows you to get close enough to get any kind of problems. And that's kind of why I do some of these things like this. Like the warp core is actually one block back. It's kind of visible, and you think, well, you could walk up here and get radiation stuff because you're within one block. But the game, because of the size of your player, which stands 3 blocks tall, this prevents you from walking in there to get the radiation. It's a little different story over here where you can actually walk up to this, but everything's far enough back so it doesn't, it keeps you away from these generators and the fuel tanks that are back over there. So yeah, that part worked out good. And I also took took out the weird little block thing and I put in some shutter doors on the side for where the generators are going to go. I did remove one of the base generators. I didn't need them for vanilla. And Reforged Eden, you need to add in an advanced generator anyway, so why have an extra generator? So it was cut, and then there's just an open bay over on this one side to put in an advanced generator. I did have to keep the smaller one in here, and I kept the 2 smaller ones back over here. So just so you know the difference is, and one last detail, I put this on the comments too, and on the notes on the actual post for the release of this. When I last showed it in the speeds, in Reforged Eden and Vanilla, um, well, to start with, this started out as hardened steel, and then I converted it to steel. The thing is there's like 7 steps, I think, 7 or 8 steps to actually doing that, and I missed one of the steps. So I missed one block set, had to do with the thin blocks. Or one of them. So anyway, when I last showed it and I was flying it around looking at the numbers, it still possessed 173 hardened steel blocks in it. So I found that I realized that when I was looking at some blocks in multi-tool that not all of them got converted. So I finished that up, and that lessened the weight a little bit more, so the stats went up a little bit above where they were when I last showed it. So I just want to make mention of that too. Not that it's like a huge difference, but 173 heavier blocks going down to lighter blocks does shave off some more weight, which will give you some more performance. As in weapons, I did cut one of the turrets. I cut the turret that was on the very front here. As of the other turrets are in better locations. This one, again, it's got like 2 block layers below the pilot seat and where that turret would be, but still it would draw fire to this area of the ship. So I mean, obviously you could put a turret back there. Just keep in mind that the AI in a lot of cases may shoot at this turret, which would draw fire to the front of the ship, where most of the other weaponry was put off to these rear corners, actually. So, and there's just kind of a wing here, and there's not much going on there. So if you get this stuff blown up, which the AI is going to shoot at a lot, it should hopefully keep most of that damage away from the internal parts of the ship. And again, this is a weak ship. It's steel, it's shield dependent, it's built for like speed and stuff like that, and not to tank things. But avoiding incoming fire is always a great thing, and that's where a speedy ship should, be able to deal with that. And I like this setup here because when the AI is shooting at you, and if you're like cruising around at good speeds, it's kind of like aiming way out over here, and that's an easier thing to strafe around and misfire than if you had all your guns like right up over here, I think. You tend to get a little bit luckier missing like missiles hitting you if you're moving around and they're shooting way over here, but by the time they shoot your stuff, say you're strafing around or you moved, then you're over there, and then they have a hard time catching you. That's the idea. I'm not saying that's actually going to work, but it was the idea behind putting all the weaponry out back there, far away from where the pilot is. I made that mistake on some past ships for sure, where I'd had like guns near the pilot, and that again is going to draw fire at you. So that was the reason. So anyway, this is on the workshop. It's all set. Again, one last thing, it did go Empyrion, and that was based on comment. It was going to be a Merc MX7. For the most part, I kind of like the texturing better on the Imperial because it's using more range of textures, I would say, more in a different, like slightly different base material that I can kind of blend in with the smoother metal. The biggest side effect to Imperial texturing is I can't really deviate from the colors very much because of the white line problem on the base texture. These guys here, these white lines stick out like a sore thumb. If you paint these things, like say I wanted to say this ship was going to be a dark red, for instance, then what happens is those white lines just stick through like crazy. And typically, for the right creation, that might look decent, especially, but for this kind of look, it doesn't work very well. So that's why I thought about putting on like alt color palette for these guys, but I haven't really come to grips on exactly how that would be done yet, because it's largely based around having your darks and your lights and what textures you can use for each one, so you don't have the white line problems. Or when you do have the white line problems, they're fairly discrete because of the color tone of the overall creation. Um, this one in particular, I think it would be kind of fun to just kind of like give it a custom paint job. Like, say I wanted to add in some colors and some things and stuff. It would be kind of fun to do that with. But anyway, this took a lot more time than I thought, like most creations. But like, I always underestimate how long things take to build, or how much longer it's going to take. Same thing with this station. The station still ways out, obviously, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I'll just have to keep on chucking away at it. And I'm probably looking at, for the player version, probably another 40 hours or so of build time on the station, maybe. And then the POI version, that's gonna take some time too. There's other elements involved in that, and part of that is testing, and then reconfiguring parts of the interior and really trying to figure out that layout, and then tweaking it, trying to make it play it a few times to see how the AI spawns in certain places, and how it's gonna if it's too tough or too easy, or make your pathing work, have some I don't know, logistics behind all that, and switches and levers and whatever. We'll figure it out. But hopefully it'll be cool in the end. Hopefully. So that's it for today. I just wanted to go over all that stuff and where I'm at with everything. And again, I'll probably be working on this later today again, and probably later tomorrow and over the weekend. And I'll probably have another update Monday or Tuesday next week. And hopefully I get a lot more done then. I'm not starting any other projects beforehand. Now, that's kind of slowed this down a little bit, is building this other creation for the challenge. But this is a time thing, and I wanted to get that done. And it was a fun build. It's really annoying, I got to say though, building some of these SVs, especially if you're trying to go small. Why this one took so long wasn't so much even the body or anything else. It was trying to cram so much into a tiny little interior. And making it work, and a lot of tweaking and moving and changing and modifying, which all takes a little bit of time. But I think eventually I got kind of eventually worked out. It's you're not getting blasted with heat and rads, despite being a really low ceiling interior. You can walk through it and not get stuck anywhere. I had to make body modifications in 2 different places on the ship to be able to accommodate that. Originally the ramps, you'd get out of try to go down one thing and your head would get stuck on something, so you couldn't walk through the interior. There's a lot of little things I had to deal with, one issue after another until it was done. But all right. Well, anyway, I will shut up, and you guys have yourself a good day. Tomorrow I'll be looking at another look at the workshop, and again, you guys really been kicking butt. There is a lot of really cool stuff to look at again. So, one thing, I might tone down how many I try to look at per video too, because I know there's a lot to look at, and that's why I've been trying to like jump it up. I was usually trying to keep it to like 3 to 5. If they're bigger things, maybe 3, and if they're average size things or a mix, maybe 5. And I've been trying to push that higher, because there's so many cool things. But I'm gonna just have to like take my time. I can't show everything in one video. The videos go on too long, and a lot of messing around with that. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. You guys have yourself a good day. I'll talk to you later.